Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Yasmin, and for those of you who are new here, I am an 18-year-old mom to my 1-year-old Laela, who you might see later in this video. She's playing, she's waving, she's walking over here. And I also have one more little girl on the way, right? Your baby sister? Where's your baby sister? Wanna give her a kissy? Give your baby sister a kissy? Oh, she loves giving baby sister kisses. I don't know if you guys can tell, but I just woke up. We had a sort of late morning. Yesterday was sort of a rough day. I tried to film this for you yesterday, but I was like a mess all day, so I'm filming it again for you today, uploading it for you guys later today, so by the time you're seeing this, it will be sort of real time. I don't really do this very often where I film and edit and post all in the same day, but we're doing it. Pretty much I wanted to make a video to tell you guys a very important story about my life and something that has been very, very impactful to my entire life. And the story is the reason behind why I got my first tattoo when I was 16. The video is going to be about like my tattoos and the meaning behind them. I do have one other tattoo that's sort of related. As we get into the story, you guys will understand more, but I'm wearing my Light the Night shirt. Let's just go ahead and get started. So these are my tattoos. So I have a sun with a J in the middle on my shoulder, and I have a little wave tattoo on my rib. Or like on, I guess it's like under my boob, like on my side. The sun tattoo I got when I was 16 years old. I got it right around my 16th birthday, I think. My mom took me to get it and like signed for me and everything. And I had planned on getting the tattoo since I was 14. I honestly don't think it hurt very much. It feels like really hard scratching, but it didn't hurt that much. You want to sit with me? Is that why you're coming over here with your blankie? This was my baby blanket and she's now very attached to it. The reason that I got this tattoo is because when I was 14 years old, the summer of 2015, it was 4 years ago yesterday. So I tried to film this video yesterday, but I was a mess yesterday. So 4 years ago yesterday, my cousin, my lifelong best friend, Juliana, died of leukemia. So I actually named Laela after her. So Layla's middle name is Juliana. Named after your Aunt Juliana? And actually a lot of people have been saying that she looks a lot like her. Juliana and I were only 2 months apart, so she was born in December, I was born in February, and she was in the room when I was born. She was a little 2-month-old baby in the room when I was born, and since then we were basically like inseparable. Like we were a perfect pair, we got along perfectly, we were together all the time, and we grew up like sisters, but we didn't fight like sisters. It was like we were just born to be best friends. Our personalities worked really well together and we were best friends. We had so much fun together, and growing up my whole life I always looked forward to the next time that I would get to see Juliana. So that's always what I was just looking ahead to, like when will I get to see Juliana next. Most of our lives we grew up living pretty close together, but for some periods I lived in California and she lived on the East Coast, and then when I moved back home to the East Coast she moved away for a little, so there was a period where we didn't get to see each other as often, which was really hard. Then when we finally both lived around the DC area again, as we were like preteens, we started like having more independence and I got to see her more often. We got to sort of go off and do our own thing. She lived in Arlington, Virginia, so we would walk to the malls together and hang out at her apartment in Arlington, and we just sort of really started growing up together. She was really, really my best friend, and I never, okay. There goes Laela. So starting the end of 8th grade, right around her graduation, you could tell that she was getting really sick. She was admitted to the hospital one night for some kind of pain, I believe. Initially they thought it was like mono, not really serious, and then her 8th grade dance and her 8th grade graduation came up, and I went to those things with her, and she just really looked like pale and skinny, and you could tell that there was something really wrong. And of course I was in denial of the fact that there would ever be anything seriously wrong with her, but I started to get really worried. The next couple of weeks following were just her in the hospital. I live with my grandmother and my mom, and she lived obviously with her family, and we lived on like opposite sides of Washington DC. So I lived in Maryland outside of DC and she lived in Virginia outside of DC, but we were close. I remember I was home one day and my grandma got a call, and I just overheard the phone call and heard that Juliana had leukemia. So when I heard that, that was the scariest sounding thing to hear. Like leukemia just sounds so deadly. It was the worst case scenario that I was expecting. Like, I never ever would have thought that would be what was wrong with her. And I had never in my life dealt with someone close to me having cancer, or even just anyone close to me being really sick or dying. Like, I'd never ever experienced something like that. Right away when I heard that, I burst into tears, I freaked out, and I started going and doing my own research online, like, what is leukemia? Do people survive leukemia? Like, what happens when kids have leukemia? I didn't know anything about this really, so I started like really looking into it, and that just made it even worse. That whole summer, Juliana was in the hospital. She started going through chemotherapy, and they found out that she had mixed phenotype acute leukemia, so she basically had 2 kinds of leukemia. Seeing her in the hospital was really hard, and she was always really positive about everything, so she tried to make sure that everyone, like, she didn't like everyone worrying about her and trying to like go out of their way to do things for her, and she was really grateful for everything, of course, but I feel like she hated everyone thinking there was something really wrong, because she didn't want to think there was something really wrong. And she was just so like enthusiastic and happy the whole time, which I don't know how anyone could ever be, but she was so positive. So I tried to spend a lot of that summer with her, and that was one of the hardest parts, was that summer was always like our time that we got to be together. We didn't get to see each other as much during the school year, and we were like best friends, so the summer was like our thing, and it was really special to us. Coming to Rehoboth Beach, Delaware actually was like our special place, because that's where we got to spend like at least a whole week together every summer, because we would come here with our family every summer. And that's actually, I think, sort of why my aunt wanted to move out here when she did, and then I moved in with my aunt years later after Juliana died, but now that's why, you know, I'm still here and I love this place. So that summer was going to be really hard, because I knew Juliana was going to be really sad that she couldn't really be out at all during the summer, and she was going to be stuck in this hospital all summer. And to us, that was just one summer. Like, in our heads, obviously that was like, oh man, it's like, that sucks. It's the summer right before we start high school. I tried to spend as much time with her in the hospital as I could, and she loved doing makeup, so I just want to put that out there. She would have been like a YouTube beauty guru. She was really into like watching YouTubers, and I was never really into that, so she sort of like got me a little bit into that. Doing makeup was something that kept her really occupied while she was in the hospital, so she had all these like makeup kits. I slept over at the hospital with her all the time, because I wanted to try to be with her. And because she couldn't go to the beach or anything, when Teen Beach 2 premiered on Disney Channel, I don't know if you guys remember that movie, but Teen Beach 2 premiered on Disney Channel that summer, threw her like a surprise little beach party in her hospital room. So I like brought decorations, and it was just like me and her siblings, but I brought decorations and like decorated her room while she was sleeping, and then we watched Teen Beach 2 when she woke up. It was a really hard summer for everyone, and I hated seeing Juliana how she was. Obviously, it's really hard for anyone that goes through something like that, and it's something that has made me stronger than anything has made me, honestly. It's been harder for me than, you know, becoming a mom at 17, or even like struggling with the problems that my mom has. Like, I think this by far is the hardest thing that I've gone through, and it has made me the strongest. So there were some points in the summer where she was doing really well, and it was really hopeful. Towards the end of the summer, it started getting really bad, and she was put into the pediatric intensive care unit, and then I didn't really hear from her at all after that. The last time that I saw her, she was in the intensive care unit, and she had a breathing mask on. She like just had all of these problems and looked like really sick, and she was really frustrated and sad because she couldn't communicate with anyone because of this mask, and you could just tell that she was in pain, and it was really terrible seeing her like that. And it's really terrible ever seeing anyone that you love in pain, whatever that means to anyone. I just remember I got to spend a couple minutes alone with her the last time that I got to see her, and it was like I sort of knew at that point, like. And it was just a huge summer of denial for me. I was just like, no, there's no way, it would never be her. But also it was a really scary summer, because I was waiting every day. I just was waiting like to get that phone call. This is what happened last time when I tried to film this, and I had to redo it, and we made it mostly to the video already. So finally I started school, and I started high school. It was my first year of high school, and a few weeks into the school year, one night we were at home. It was August 28th, and my whole family was home, and my grandmother got a phone call from my aunt and immediately rushed out of the house. And I stayed home with my sisters. My mom had to go with her, and I knew right away like what was going on. Nobody would tell me anything, but I knew right away like that was it. And then I stayed up that whole night talking to all of her friends. I had gotten close with her friends over that whole summer because we were all sort of like going through the same thing and experiencing like someone that we really loved and cared about going through something so terrible. So then finally that morning, I don't even think I slept that night. If I did, it was very not for very long. But that morning my grandma called. I don't think I'll ever be able to get that phone call out of my head. So she basically told me she's at peace now. Don't watch me cry, Laela. Can you give me a huggy? I'm sorry. So after that, it was sort of just like a blur. We had memorial services and a funeral service. So the point is, I got my tattoo in honor of her, and I got a sun because I sort of wanted to symbolize that she was going to be lighting the path for the rest of my life. And just because summers were really important and like special to us, so that's why I got the sun with the J for Juliana inside. My other tattoo, which is sort of related, is the wave tattoo, which is on my rib. After Juliana died, I got really close with a lot of her friends, and one of her friends, Maddie, became like my forever best friend. I actually knew her starting in like 5th grade or something because of Juliana. Immediately, like, I loved her, and then we just got even closer after Juliana died because we both were like just really, all of her friends were really impacted by everything, by the whole situation, her whole community. The whole community was. So after she died, the whole high school that she was supposed to go to went and wrote messages for her on this bridge in chalk. So they dedicated like this whole bridge to like writing for her. The community was just like really supportive for our family after that. Anyway, so the wave tattoo I got with my friend Maddie, who is my best friend because of Juliana. We got these matching wave tattoos, again sort of like because of summer, and also I'm an Aquarius. But yeah, so my best friend has one on her opposite side. And I got this tattoo a couple months after my first one. I was also 16. So a few months after Juliana died in October, we participated in the Leukemia Lymphoma Society Light the Night Walk in DC, and now we go every year and walk as like for Team Juliana. So my family created this team, and it's a really great way to remember and honor Juliana every year with a great purpose. So we fundraise every year for the Leukemia Lymphoma Society. So I am going to link my fundraising page in the description below this video. And if you guys could donate to it, that would be incredible, and it would mean the world to me. Even if you donate $1, just $1, you can donate any amount, and it can be the smallest amount, and it will make a difference. And also, for those of you who live in the area, create your own fundraising page and join Team Juliana. I would really love for you guys to participate in this with us. Well, I don't think my comments will be on for this video, but go follow my Instagram, and I'm going to post something for you guys to comment your own personal experiences with leukemia, with cancer, with losing someone really close to you. If you guys go to Light the Night Walk, I want you guys to comment about that and your experience with that. So I just sort of want to create like a platform where everyone can share their stories and, you know, relate to people's stories. For those of you who participate in the Light the Night Walk, I would love to meet you if you guys are going to be at the DC walk. During the actual walk would probably not be the best time because I'm really busy with family. I might do some kind of like meet and greet before the walk in the area. So if you guys are going to be there, then you guys can come there, and I'll have more information about that either here on my channel or on my Instagram. So stay tuned. At the walk would probably not be the best time to meet you guys as much as I would really love to meet you guys. It's a very like special and important time for my family, and I don't want to, you know, I don't want to be distracted from that. Thank you guys so much for listening to my story. This is just a really important part of my life that I want to be open with you guys about and share with you guys about. It's been one of the hugest, like most impactful parts of my life, and has made me the person that I am and made me stronger. I hope that some of you guys could relate. I hope that this was meaningful to some of you guys. So yeah, don't forget to check out the link in my description. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.